That was Bloodfest. Woo! Woo! All right, y'all. So we got Owen Egerton, writer and director.
Hi, guys. I'm just going to thank you guys so much for watching the movie. I'm just going to run back here and say hi to everybody. Hello. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I'm in the back row right now. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the movie. You know, it's not a huge crowd, so I can do this pretty easily. Thank you guys. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. You know, some people left, you know, right as the credits started, fuck them. Fuck them. They had a family and they had kids had to get to school. Fuck them. No, I'll say hi to you guys too. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. Isn't it great to drink and watch movies together? Isn't it? You know what's better? Drinking and making movies together. That is so fun. I did it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. Oh, you left the popcorn and I didn't even eat it. Oh, thank you too. How are you?
There's 3 more people left.
Oh, these guys. Hey guys, how are you? Hey,
Don't forget that guy in the second row. Right there.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Here you go. Thank you. Oh, this popcorn's so good. It's mine, popcorn.
It's a little stale.
Yeah.
It's a little stale.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, y'all. Before we open it up to the audience, so start thinking of some questions that you want to ask Owen.
By the way,
really stale.
Grins the clown. Remember the clown? Yes. That's right here, Nick Wolf, ladies and gentlemen. Eaten alive.
Eaten alive.
Yeah.
That was it was an interesting day.
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
Yeah, we filmed all of that in one day. All the clowns and zombies in one day. And no one worked harder. Everyone worked their asses off that day. No one worked harder than this man right there, who was giggling a lot and then getting eaten alive and screaming a lot. Please give it up for Nick Wolf.
Thank you so much. That was a blast. I don't know how you got all those zombies and clowns to work together.
Yeah.
As well as you did.
Because usually they don't work well together.
No, traditionally they don't really go well
really,
together.
yeah.
But you somehow decided to marry
Inclusion.
them. Inclusion is
Yeah.
what matters most here.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have to ask you a couple things. One, where the hell did this movie come from? Like, at what point? Because your first film feature Follow.
Yeah.
From that point on to where you came with Bloodfest, what was the sort of genesis of this project?
So I've worked with the Alamo Drafthouse since, really close to the beginning, actually, since like 99. 1999 for the younger of you. And back then, even to this day, the Alamo's always done a great job of like letting a movie bleed into the audience, right? Also beer and food, but they've done like these great events where you're watching a horror movie, like you're watching the Friday the 13th series, not the TV series, but the movies, in a summer camp, or you're watching Jaws and you're in a tube. And scuba divers are going to grab your leg at the exact wrong time. And I love the idea of like a movie that kind of has the ability to bleed out. So I kept thinking like, oh, I would love to go to a festival like this. I want to go to the Bloodfest. I want to go to a place like where I can walk around summer camps where slashers exist, and the haunted asylum, and the hotel with the mother who's sitting in the top floor. I want to go to those places. And I just went from there.
Nice. And so it's definitely also a Rooster Teeth film.
Yes.
I'm interested to know when that partnership came and how was the sort of collaboration with them from coming from a project that is deeply rooted in something that you wanted to see,
yeah,
and the sort of fancies that delighted you. How did them coming to you or you coming to them? What was that sort of partnership like, and how was making a film with them like?
You guys know Rooster Teeth, right? Rooster Teeth? Yeah. I'm such a big fan of them. So, and funny enough, like Austin's like a really beautiful cesspool of creativity. Like kind of dirty, but we grow. And years and years ago, like I remember making jokes at the old Alamo Drafthouse, way before the Ritz, like back on Colorado, I was telling you about. And I remember like seeing ads where like Rooster Teeth was doing. They were doing this red versus blue. I'm like, what the hell is that? That is amazing. Who are these these guys, and we kind of grew up around the same time. We kind of grew up sort of parallel. And at some point, they hired a guy from LA, and a guy from LA named Ryan Hall, who is a dear friend now. He had read some of my scripts out in LA. He's like, we should make some horror movies with this guy. I'm like, oh, he lives in Austin. This is gonna be great. And that's how we started making films together. I loved it. I mean, Rooster Teeth is like a tornado of talent. Like they are just always making things, and which is a big thing. Like Hollywood is not always making things. Hollywood is often talking about making things, and then went ahead and makes a remake of something they made earlier. Like creativity is not big in Hollywood. Money is big in Hollywood, but Rooster Teeth is always making things. So they had the idea, and they said, like, let's do it. Let's go ahead and make a movie. And I was so thrilled to not only to be making a movie, but to be working with those guys. I just love them. So yeah.
Nice. So in the process of writing, I saw the film Saturday. We didn't watch it tonight.
Yes.
But so Saturday.
I drank tonight. There's a bar downstairs.
Fucking great.
With all kinds of alcohol.
So, as I was watching the movie a few nights ago, more sober than I am
when
now.
I was meant to be here, by the way, I know it was advertised I was going to be here on Saturday. And
Friday, initially.
Friday, yeah. Very confusing. I was in San Antonio on Friday, and then on Saturday I was in Mexico, which is not here.
It's definitely not here.
Yeah.
It's a little close, but not as quite.
Very different. And they don't like the Alamo in Mexico. Turns out it's a real negative vibe for them.
Oh, that's a good one. So while watching this movie, you can absolutely tell that it's coming from a director that loves the genre of horror.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and I'm seeing subtleties to what I believe would be Saw.
Yeah.
What I would believe to be Dead Silence, maybe, with the puppet, the marionette,
Nice.
Mr.
Nice.
Leadfeet.
Yeah.
There's a short for that, if you haven't seen it yet. I just am curious, like, what were some of the sort of horror inspirations that you wanted to bring? So what were the things that you grew up watching, the things that scared you, that you were like, I want to play with these characters and these mythos?
I like that you use the word subtlety, because there's nothing subtle about our references. Our references are really like flat in your face. They're like slapping you, reaching out and just jerking you off. They're like so a lot of the films. So some of the ones that really, I'm a huge fan, of course, the Halloween films and the Friday the 13th films, of course. I'm a huge fan actually of Halloween 4. For whatever reason, I really, really, really love Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, other people. Yeah. Don't be quiet.
No one
No. It needs your support. Like, it's just the ultimate, like, 80s sequels. And then George Romero is a saint, and we have lost a lot with him dying. But he'll come back because he's a zombie. But like Dawn of the Dead is a brilliant film. And actually, George Romero in his films was a big inspiration, not only because he had such fun in the films that he made, but he had such fun making the films he made. He was a huge believer in incorporating everyone who was around. Like, what ideas do you have? What would be fun to do today? You're coming in for the day as an extra. What do you want to see in this movie? And I love that. I love that aspect of like making a film as a community, which is something we try to do in making this film. And then I tried to throw in as many like Shining references as I could. There's like, I think, 4 or 5 Shining references. Some of them kind of deep. Some of them, like, I don't know if you caught, like, we have an aerial shot of a yellow VW going through the countryside. You know, it's better in The Shining when it's Shining turns out it's a bit of a better film than mine. But I try to make as many Shining references as I could, too.
Hell yeah, Shining's a classic.
Yeah.
Last question before I turn it out to you guys. So be thinking of any sort of interesting questions that you have for Owen. Last question being, so it's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
What was that in the writing process, as well as when you were directing it? Because a lot of things sort of change on set.
Yeah.
You know, actors are like, "Hey, man, I got an idea for this line." How was that balance between, I want it to be really scary at this moment, or like, "Hey, let's have some fun with this, and let's make it really, really funny for the audience"?
Yeah. So we were going. The big thing that we said early on was like, let's not allow the horror to take away from the humor, or the humor to take away from horror. Like to play them both hard.
Sure.
And that was big. And it's a bit of a difficult thing because when you're making anytime you're sort of laughing in a horror movie, it makes you sort of feel a little less fear when
Sure.
someone dies,
Yeah.
because it's kind of funny, and that's naturally the genre, which I'm kind of cool with. It was a continuous balance, like it's back and forth of like, all right, we'll go for horror here, we'll go for humor here. I think for me, my most fun moments, my favorite moments of the film are when you're laughing right before you scream. I think about Chris Dubek's death scene. He's a fellow who was the actor who played the arborist. And I love the fact that there's a laugh for me, like when he's like, once again, like they're gonna have to find a new bastard to play Tommy. Oh yeah, Tommy still doesn't get the name right before we see him ripped
Right.
apart. If I can see a little bit of humor and a whole lot of horror in the same moment, I call that my wedding night.
It's a well-constructed roller coaster, I would say.
Good. Oh, thanks.
Of ups and downs with the horror and the comedy.
Again, my wedding night.
Well said. All right. Do we have any comments, questions out in the
Not
audience?
comments, just
Comments.
questions.
Just questions. I just don't want reviews. I want a question with a question mark.
Unless it's a good review.
508. Yes, right there.
Did you include the song All Star as reference to Master Pancake Theater? And how many the All Star joke in the show by adding it to the movie?
Thank you so much for asking that. So with the All-Star, All-Star we use in a lot of Master Pancake shows. So it's funny, like as we were putting together that scene, we needed a song like, oh, how do we say douche? What's a song that says douche? Bro douche, a particular brand of douche. And All-Star like kind of fit the brand, like or fit the moment perfectly. And it was great. When I put it in the edit, I was like, well, we'll put this in. There's no way we'll be able to get this song, ever. Turns out we could get the song. Turns out All-Star needs money. I hate to say that. They're also washing your dishes tonight, so tip well. And as we were doing it though, like it was like so fun. I'm like, oh my God, Master Pancake fans are gonna love this. The idea that we used it, so it was a sort of great in so many ways. So yes, it was very much like, oh, Master Pancake fans will love this, but also it was just perfect for the moment.
Just a douchey song all around.
Yeah. I also love the song, by the way. Not to, I don't want to,
I mean, if you like it.
Smash Mouth is amazing.
Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth fan over here.
Playing on my next birthday.
All right, row 6 right there.
Who's your favorite person to work with, and who's your favorite person to kill?
Oh.
Favorite person to work with and
Yeah.
favorite person to kill on
Wow. Okay, well, I will say it based on tonight. Are you guys leaving? We're not going to be here for long. What the hell? I'm just joking. Get the hell out of here. Good. You're good.
set. It's late.
It's late.
It's Labor Day.
Bye, guys. Thank you guys so much for staying as long as you did. I appreciate that. Good night, guys. No, thanks, guys. I'm drunk. Get the hell out of here. Okay, so I had a lot of favorite people. It was amazing working with the cast, amazing working with the crew, so many good people. I have to say, Nick was amazing as Grin's a Clown. And he's like so fantastic. Like he screamed, he yelled, he was eaten alive, and he did so much. So I'll say Nick was my favorite person to work with. My favorite person to kill is in the same scene. You remember the clown that gets the accent in her head that Barbara kills? Right? That's my wife. And she had come that day. She was like, my kids are in that scene too. Remember, there's a clown that bites a zombie's nose off. That's my daughter. And my son's it. I fucking use my family because I don't have to pay them. Turns out legally I don't. And my wife had come from like helping in a birth. She's a doula. So she'd been up like 48 hours birthing a baby. And then we got her to set. We dressed her as a clown and then let Barbara Dunkelman kill her with an axe. That was the fucking hottest moment of my life.
Most rewatched scene of the movie.
Yeah, for me.
All right, what else we got? Row 3 right there in the middle.
When you did the Q&A for Follow, you talked about how you had already been coming up with jokes. If any jokes for if you ever had to mock this movie?
Wow, this seems like a deep cut.
Yes. this man knows me
This
well.
guy knows you.
Yes, he does. No, because we wouldn't do this one. It's a horror comedy. This is the only way to protect myself against having to mock my own movie. Because, like, usually, Master Pancake, we try not to mock movies that have comedy in the building at all. So that's why the only reason I made this a comedy, so I wouldn't get mocked by my own comedy troupe. Because I'm terrified of that. It's going to happen. And it's going to be horrible for me. Sad.
First row, right here, 110. I can see you.
But I do have a few jokes.
What do you got?
The setting for the auditorium for the school.
Yeah.
Where's that in Austin? Like,
He asked for the setting for the auditorium with the puppets.
Yeah, that was the scariest part.
Oh my gosh, with the
Yeah.
puppets. Was that scary for you guys? Like, all the dolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
You know what? Scariest moment of film as well. So, so Austin has a lot of state-run facilities, mental asylums, and I know this is not nice, but also like state-run facilities for people who need constant care, and some of these facilities used to be larger campuses and have buildings that no longer can hold people because they're going to fall down or they're full of asbestos. And that's where we filmed one of these. So it was an abandoned state facility. We got permission to film in there, and I'm walking around like, you can film in here. I'm like, what is this auditorium? What is this? And that's why we filmed in there. I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fill these chairs with fucking dolls, and we're gonna make it scary as shit. And then the folks at Rooster Teeth were able to make these dolls, and it was terrifying to film in there because it was in August. It was 104 degrees inside. Everyone who was not on camera was wearing something across their face, like a gauze over their mouth to not breathe in the evil that obviously was existing there. It was really, really scary and pretty wonderful too. And the film that we're showing, as we're projecting it on the screen, is Edison, as in Thomas Edison, his Frankenstein. So Thomas Edison made a short film, because you remember, or maybe you don't, but he was pretty big early on of like, hey, film, I own that. I'll copyright the idea of making films. And Frankenstein was an early version of that. So that was like the first horror movie ever. So it was a great opportunity for us to put the first horror movie of all time into our film that's a tribute to horror movies.
Damn. Well, that's
Snap!
That's a good one. All right, so we got right there,
Yes.
row 3.
Location question. I recognize the Mueller house, but is that the backyard?
Not the backyard. It's Nutty Brown. So one of the things that one of the producers was like, hey, when you're making indie film, one of the things you're like, oh, make a film, like write a script. You're a script writer, you know this.
Yeah.
Write a script that has as few locations as possible because that's going to be cheaper. So I went with them like, look, this almost all takes place at Bloodfest. Turns out Bloodfest took 18 locations to film Bloodfest, and one of them was Nutty Brown. So Nutty Brown was, west of town, a really fun concert locale. That's the stage and where we did all the chainsaws and the butchers. Really, really fun to work there.
All right, we got time for maybe 2 more. What do we got? Anybody in the back? Someone's got a question. I know you do. Where are you? Right there, row 7. Yes, you. I'm looking at you right there. What's up?
How did you get Zach and Jacob on board? Talk about that.
How'd you get Zachary Levi and Jacob?
No, he said first names. You know them? You know them pretty well because you were able to...
Best friends.
So Jacob was great. Jacob was really fantastic. So Jacob was Babylon was actually at the time we were in pre-production. Spider-Man was in theaters, and one of the producers, Ryan Hall, had said, "I saw this movie. I know who Krill should be." And I went to go see the movie. I was like, "Oh my God, this guy would be great." And no way this guy was going to make our movie, right? But I sent him the script. We sent him the script, and he was like, "I'm doing it." And he was so sweet. The guy, like, if you love him as Ned in Spider-Man, if you love him as Krill in this, you love the man. That is who he is. He's such a cool guy. And he was like, Owen, I read the script. I loved it. I'm like, thank you. He was like, I get send scripts all the time. Like, great. What moved you about this one? I was like, it's the only time a character of mine loses his virginity in the film. So I will do this movie. And so I have high hopes of making a sequel in which he comes back as a vampire, and a third where he's again. I want to make the trilogy, just so I can have Jacob in every movie I ever do.
And what about Zachary?
Oh, so Zach, he's a fan of Austin. He's a huge fan of Austin. He's a huge fan of Rooster Teeth, and he was like, "I'll do this. Yeah, you guys have a cameo for me?" And they said, like, "Yeah, Zachary Levi's coming today." So I looked up his IMDb. It turned out he's entangled, and I wrote a scene.
I think, because I saw this movie again on Saturday, and I think what I loved about the Zachary Levi moment was that you sort of set it up of this promise of like, okay, we're gonna see some Zachary Levi shit in this movie, and I love that you just like kill him off, like with like no care whatsoever. You're just like, yeah, and he's done. And I think that's absolutely hysterical, and I think
it was meant to be Brad Pitt, but Brad Pitt was busy.
What, doing his Deadpool 2 cameo or something?
I haven't seen that yet. It's a spoiler.
Oh, shit. Any other questions? Right there.
So if you do make a trilogy, can I be part of it though?
Yes. You are already cast.
In what part?
You are Demon Doll 4.
Demon Doll 4. Put it on your IMDb.
In production.
All right. Do we got one more question? Anybody, be the last one. Do it. I know you.
I know you have the perfect last question. Oh,
right there. Okay, row
What's your
one.
next movie?
What's my next movie?
Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
So I'm not really allowed to talk about it. I do have another movie. I filmed another movie right after making this one, and it's coming down the tubes, the digestion track of film, which makes it sound like every film's a piece of shit. Now I think about it. But there is another film coming, and I'm super excited about it, but I'm not allowed to really talk about it. But it's coming your way, and yeah, it should be really fun.
When?
I don't know yet. It's almost done. Like, I filmed it, it's being edited, it's almost done. The film will be to you soon.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It is very exciting, and you're cast in it. Did you know that? Yeah, you're already in it. It's cool.
All right.
I filmed all of you. Did you guys know that? In fact, we're locking the doors. We're killing all of you. It's a Bloodfest, the experience. Not really. None of you are going to die.
It's not 40.
Well, I don't.
It's not 40. Not a 4D experience where the seats move and shit sprays at you.
It's a 5D. You're all dying, and that's the fifth dimension.
All right, y'all. Well, on behalf of the Alamo Drafthouse Mueller, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight for Bloodfest. Give it up for Owen Egerton, the writer and the director of Bloodfest.
Hey, can I say this to you guys? This is a huge thing. So you guys are aware that there are so many great movies out all the time. Bam, bam, bam. So much great television, maybe better than ever before in our lifetimes. Bam, bam, bam. And there's so many places you guys could be, and so many things you guys could be watching. It means a hell of a lot to me and all the people that worked their asses off, including this guy, to make this movie happen, that you guys took the opportunity to come to a theater, put your money down, put your asses down, and watch this movie. It means so much. And by doing it, you're making sure that more things are happening. More indie film, more different voices, more experiments, and more mistakes, and more celebrations. So I thank you as a filmmaker from the bottom of my heart, as an Austinite. Thank you for being here. It means everything.
All right, y'all. Give it up for Owen Egerton, everybody.